Hey guys, so I wanted to do a little sit down video and just chat with you guys. So I asked you to ask me questions on Instagram. I'm also filming on my phone and I wrote all the questions down on a napkin, so because I can't go on my phone to see them. So first question is, what would you say to yourself 7 years ago? So 7 years ago, I was 14. I was in a relationship, I had a boyfriend, and I was also going through the hell that is high school. No one liked me in high school because I was doing my thing on Instagram. I was just starting to model. I was an easy target. People would make fun of me, which is not cool. But I would just tell myself, keep doing you and you're killing it. And if only you knew where you're gonna be 7 years down the line. High school is such a small portion of your life. Like, you have your whole life ahead of you. You're gonna look back and not even remember half the shit you went through. Everyone has to go through it, and I would just tell myself to keep going, to keep doing what you're doing, and don't let any negativity or any opinions stop you from doing what you're doing. Going after your dreams and your goals, you are one of the very few that actually did that in high school, and look at you now. And I would also just say, don't take shit from people. I would always take shit from people, and I didn't really know how to stand up for myself. So I would just say to stand up for yourself more. When did you lose your V card? So I was 14, same kind of time as everything else was going on. And I had a boyfriend, and it wasn't anything special or great or romantic at all. It was literally just in my bedroom back when I was living with my mom and my siblings, and I'm pretty sure that they were all home. At least my siblings were. And he was the one who kept bringing up the topic. I was kind of like, I don't know, because obviously it was my first time and everything. One day he just really wanted to do it, and I was like, but my family is home. Like, why would we do it now? And he was just like, it's fine, we'll be quiet and we'll be quick. And obviously I was young. He was very convincing. He was a little snake. He just knew how to talk himself into situations and talk himself out of situations. He was just very sneaky. Afterwards, I went to the bathroom and I was just like sitting there thinking, I just had sex, like for the first time, like ever. I grew up in a religious family, so my whole life that was frowned upon. Having sex before you're married or doing anything sexual was a sin. And I was like, am I a horrible person? Did I just sin? Am I going to hell? My family's gonna be so disappointed. They're gonna hate me. I'm a terrible person. And it's crazy that that was in my head and that's how I felt, which is so wrong. But unfortunately, that's what happens when you grow up in a religious family. I was so worried afterwards. I was like, my family's gonna absolutely hate me. I'm a terrible person. And I didn't tell anybody until like years after. I just think it's so wrong how I felt ashamed for doing the most natural human thing that we can do on earth, because I was taught at such a young age in my whole life that it's a sin to do those things. That was also around the time that I decided to leave that religion and that it wasn't for me at all. So it was just like a lot of mixed emotions. Are you guys planning for a baby? No, Reese and I are not planning for a baby just yet. We would like to get a cat first. We've been wanting a cat for so long, so when I get back, we're either gonna get one cat or two little kitties. We wanna do a lot before we even think about if we wanna have kids. What is your most embarrassing story? I have a few of those, but I'll tell you the most embarrassing one. So this was my very first boyfriend I ever had. I was 12 or 13. Obviously, your first boyfriend, you're gonna explore and do things. But I went to bed one night and my phone was on the nightstand, and I was getting notifications, and my mom checked my phone. She caught us sexting, so she found all of those messages. And I remember the next morning she said, "You're grounded, I'm taking your phone away, I'm so mad at you." And I was like, oh shit. She didn't even tell me what I did. Like, she didn't tell me that she found out. She just left me guessing, like so disappointed. She was like, you know what you did? kind of thing. And then the next day my mom was like, we all need to talk, me, you, and your dad. She told me that she found my messages and she had me confess everything that I've ever done with that boyfriend. Not only is it so embarrassing that your mom found your sexting messages, but she made me confess everything that I've done with this boy. And I'm such a bad liar, I cannot lie. So I had to confess everything. Like, very specific questions she asked me and I had to confess. And not only that, they took me to Wendy's, to a public restaurant where there are people around, and here I am, like, confessing all my dirty sins. And on top of that, they banned me from ever seeing that boyfriend again. And this was like a long-term relationship. Like, we were together, I think, a year, saw each other every single day. And he's the person I went to when my parents were getting in a divorce. I would be at his house to get away from everything. They told me I could never see him again. My heart just shattered and I just went into tears. I was crying so much in the middle of a Wendy's. What is the strangest thing a partner asked you to do? So a past partner asked me to pee on him. And I did. TMI happening, but we were in the shower. And he was like, I want you to pee on me while I'm not the weird one for doing it. He's the weird one for wanting it and asking it. I was just being a good person by doing it. So, what is your biggest pet peeve? It's simple. It's bad communication. Not to toot my own horn, but I am the queen of good communication. And when people can't give that back to me, it is so frustrating and stressful on like my whole soul. I'm so big on communication. And it could be for the simplest things. Like, I simply just ask you a question or ask you a favor and I'll never get an answer, and I'll keep following up and I'll still not get answers. And then when I'm working with people too, like on business related things, I'll follow up on something that they were supposed to do and just nothing. And it's always excuses or they just don't respond. And that, my friends, is a way to piss me off. So yeah, that is my pet peeve. What is your favorite part about marriage? Well, so far it's definitely been crazy just because we aren't together, visa stuff, but I finally am gonna go back in 12 days. So that's so soon. So excited to get there and finally start our lives together and travel together. It's such an exciting feeling to be able to spend the rest of your life with someone that you love so much and just go and experience new things together and explore together. You just get to experience life with someone that you love. Okay, the last question is, what's your sexuality? So this is something that I've always kept to myself. I never really was open about it until recently. So I'll just go ahead and tell you my sexuality journey, I guess. I have always been attracted to males and females. I was sexually active with girls before I was with boys. When I was younger, I always wanted my friends to be my girlfriends. And it was always that way up until middle school when all those friends started to get boyfriends. And I was like, oh, well, if everyone else is getting a boyfriend, then I want a boyfriend and I need to get a boyfriend. So basically society changed my perspective on love and dating and sexuality. What was normal was girls getting boyfriends and boys getting girlfriends. So I automatically thought that's what I'm supposed to do and that's how I feel now, even though I still had that attraction towards girls as well. Inside, I always considered myself bisexual. Just never put pressure on it. I never put any label on it. In my mind, it was as simple as, this is who I am, this is how I feel, this is who I love, this is who I'm attracted to, this is just me. I didn't feel like it needed to be this whole crazy thing where I'm shouting it wherever I go. But I just knew from the way I felt and the things I did with girls, the way I feel about both genders. It wasn't until recently that I sat down with the topic and really accepted who I was, and that this is who I am, and that's that. Like, it's as simple as that. Obviously, I'm married, and that doesn't mean that I love Reese any less. And let me just reassure you that I am very, very attracted to this man. He obviously knows, we've talked about it, and just a warning that if you have anything negative to say, you will be blocked, because this is a zone for no negativity, no negative opinions. So those are all of the questions. Let me know if you want more videos like this or what topics you want me to talk about. I'll see you soon.